Hello everyone, hope all are doing good. So today I am back with the 19th lesson, occupation, its importance. Occupation, its importance. So children, we need food to eat, clothes to wear and shelter to live in. Isn't it children? So you know that we need food to eat, clothes to wear and shelter to live in. We need a place to live in. We get all these things only if we have money to buy them. Isn't it? If we want to get all this, we need money. In order to buy all these things, we need money. To earn money, we have to do some work. So if you want money, we have to do some work. So you know that your parents work to earn money. So you know that your parents work to earn money. So any work that help a person to earn a livelihood is called occupation. So any work that help a person to earn a livelihood is called occupation. Is called occupation. Occupation we can also tell it as job. We can also tell it as job. So what is occupation? Any work that help a person to earn a livelihood is called occupation. Is called occupation. We can also tell it as job. People follow different occupation according to their need, interest and ability. So people follow different occupation according to their need, interest and ability. So according to the need, interest and ability, the people follow different types of job. And you know there are different types of occupations such as teacher, scientists, doctors, engineers, then nurses, then carpenters, barbers, tailors, farmers, postmen, drivers, policemen, etc. So you know that there are different types of occupation or there are different types of job, and some of them are teachers, scientists, doctors, engineers, nurse, carpenter, barber, tailor, farmers, postman, drivers and policemen, etc. So now let us learn some of the important occupations. So in your textbook page number 171, you can see that some of the occupations are given in your textbook. So you can see that page number 171. So you can see that the first, so which is the first occupation? Yes, the first occupation is the teacher. So what does the teacher do? Yes, teacher teaches the students. So a teacher teaches the students, and you know that a teacher teaches the particular subject, isn't it? So next, who is the next one? Yes, doctor. So what does the doctor do? Yes, a doctor treats the people who are ill. So if a people is not well or people is sick or a people is ill, we go to the doctor. So a person who treats people who are ill is called a doctor. So who is the next person? Yes, the next occupation is policeman. The next occupation is policeman. So policeman protect the law and order in the society. So the law and order in the society is protected by the policeman. So who is the next, which is the next occupation? Yes, next occupation is the postman. So postman, what does he do? Yes, he brings the letters. So the postman brings us letters. So next one, who is the next one? Yes, mechanic. So what does the mechanic do? Yes, the mechanic repairs the machine. So the repairing of machine is done by the mechanics. Then next occupation is the driver. So what does the driver do? A person who drive vehicles. A person who drive the vehicle is called driver. So next occupation is dancer. So a person who dance. You know that a person who dance is known as a dancer, and they will teach others also dancing. Then next person is the shopkeeper. So who is a shopkeeper? Yes, a person who manages a shop. So selling the things or selling the goodies is known as the shopkeeper. So a person who manages the shop is called as the shopkeeper. So the next you can see. Who is the next? Which is the next occupation? Yes, next is the floor miller. So a person who grind a person who grinds grains into flour is known as a flour miller. So you might have gone to the flour miller, isn't it? A person who grinds grains into flour is called a flour miller. So next person, who is it? Yes, mason. A person who built with stones and bricks. A person who built with stones and bricks is called mason. So you know that buildings, they are the person who build the stones. Next, the next occupation is the goldsmith, a person who make gold articles. So a person who make gold articles is called a goldsmith. You know that different types of gold ornaments are made by the goldsmith. So these are some of the occupations that is given in your textbook. You can see the first one is the teacher. A teacher is a person who teaches the students and they teaches a particular subject. Then doctor, a person who treat people who are ill. A person who treat people who are ill is called a doctor. Then the policeman, they protect law and order in the society. So law and order is protected by the policeman. Then the postman. So postman brings us letters. Then the mechanic. So what do the mechanics do? Yes, mechanic, they repair the machines. The machines are repaired by the mechanic. Then comes the driver. So a person who drive the vehicles. Is called driver. Then comes the dancer. A person who dances and teaches dancing is known as a dancer. Then the shopkeeper. So you know that a person who manages the shop. The things are sold by the shopkeeper. Then comes the flour miller. You can see flour miller, a person who grind grains into flour. A person who grind the grains into flour is called a flour miller. Then comes the mason, a person who built with stones and bricks is known as a mason. And then the cashier. Who is a cashier? Yes, the person who take care of our money. You know that the person who take care of the money is called a cashier. Then comes the goldsmith. A person who make gold articles. So gold ornaments are made by the goldsmith. So these are the some of the occupations. So next we will study about the importance of occupations. So occupation help us to maintain our living standard. So occupation, if you having an occupation, it makes our life standard. So first point is that occupation help us to maintain our living standard. The second one, it helps us to earn money and become self-dependent. So it helps us to earn money. So you know that if you have any job or if you having any occupation, we can earn money and become self-dependent. So we don't want to depend others for money. So we become self-dependent. Then that is the second point. The second point is that it helps us to earn money and become self-dependent. Then third one is that it helps for personality development. So if you have an occupation, it helps us for personality development. So occupation helps for personality development. So that is the third point. Occupation help for personality development. Then the fourth point is that people who are involved in occupations earn social respect. So people who are involved in occupation earn social respect. So if you are having any occupation, the society will respect us, or the people will respect us. So people who are involved in occupation earn social respect. So socially we will be having one respect. So that is the fourth point. The fifth point is that it keeps one busy and disciplined. So occupation keeps us busy and disciplined. So we will be busy in our life and discipline will be there in our life if we are having an occupation. So these are some of the importance of occupation. So I repeat, children. First one is that occupation help us to maintain our living standards. Occupation, if you are having an occupation, it helps us to maintain a living standard. So you will be having a standard in our life. Then second one is that it helps us to earn money and become self-dependent. So if you are earning money, we will be self-dependent. We don't want to depend upon others for money. So that is the second point. The next one is that it helps for personality development. So our personality development, it helps in the personality development. So if you are having an occupation, it helps for our personality development. Then fourth point is that people who are involved in occupation earn social respect. So if you are an occupation, the people will respect us and society will also respect us. Then fifth point is that it keeps one busy and disciplined. So if you are having a job, we will be busy in life and we will be having a discipline in our life. So these are some of the importance of occupations. So now let us learn how clothes have been made. So in your textbook you can see that in page number 174 you can see that how clothes have been made. So you can see that few pictures are given here. So look at the first picture. Yes. So here we are going to learn how clothes are made. So look at the first picture. You can see that the first picture, people will collect the cotton from the plants. So first, what is the first step? Yes, people will collect the cotton from the plant. So from the plant, cotton are collecting. So that is the first step. Look at the second step. What are they doing? Yes, then these clothes are sorted. So these cottons are sorted. So these cottons are sorted. Sorted means what? Yes, this cotton will be containing dust and dirt. So what happened? We have to remove the dust and dirt from the cotton, and that process is called sorting. So second step is that cotton is sorted. So sorted means removing or separating dust and dirt from the cotton. So this is the second step. Look at the second. This is the second step. Look at the third step. What are the third step? Yes, third step. Then this cotton is turned into fiber. This cotton is turned into fiber. So this is the third step. Then next comes this fiber is get colored. So we will give color for this fiber, or we will tell the process dyeing. Dyeing means coloring the fiber. So this is the fourth step, coloring the fiber. Then the next step is that the colored fiber are woven into clothes. So these colored fibers are woven or woven into clothes. So clothes are made out of these fibers or woven into clothes. Then comes that clothes is supplied to the shop. So after weaving, this clothes are supplied into the shop. Then from the shop it goes to the tailor. So from the shop this clothes goes into the tailor, and tailor will stitch the clothes and our dress is ready. So tailor will stitch the clothes and our dress is ready. So this is how the clothes are made. So you can see in your textbook page number 174, you can see the first step. So I repeat children, the first step is that people will collect the cotton from the plant. So from the plant cotton is collected. Then the cotton is sorted. Sorted means cotton may contain dust and dirt. So this dust and dirt is removed from the cotton. That is known as sorted. So this cotton is sorted. Then this cotton is made into fiber. So this cotton is turned into fiber. Then this fiber is colored. It will be colored or dyeing process is done. So this fiber will be given colors. Different types of colors will be given to this fiber. Then comes the weaving. So after this, fibers are woven into clothes. So fibers are woven into clothes. Then these clothes are supplied into shop. So after the clothes are made, these clothes are supplied into the shop. Then it goes to the tailor. Tailor will stitch the clothes and our dress is ready. So tailor will stitch the clothes and our clothes are ready. So this is how clothes are made. So next we are going to study about child labor. So next is child labor. So we are going to study about child labor. So you know that other than elders, many children are engaged in many occupations. So you know that usually elder people will go for occupations, but other than elders, children are engaged in many occupations. So children are engaged in occupations, and children may be driven into work for various reasons. So these children are driven into work for various reasons. Most often child labor occurs when family faces financial problems. So most of the children are sent to labor because the families are facing financial problems. So if they are having money problem, what the parents will do? Yes, parents will send the children for work. So that is known as child labor. That is known as child labor. So other than elders, many children are engaged in many occupation. Children may be driven into work for various reasons. So various reasons child labor has been done, and most often child labor occurs when family faces financial problems. So if the parents are having, father and mother is having any financial problem means what? Yes, money problem. So what they will do? Yes, they will send the children for work. That is known as child labor. That is known as child labor. And in India, 20% of all children aged 15 to 17 years are involved in child labor. So in India, 20% of the children between the age 15 to 17 are involved in child labor. So what is a child labor? So other than the elders, the children are engaged in many occupations. So that is known as child labor. So there are many reasons for child labor, and most often the child labor occurs when family faces financial problems. So if the family is having financial problem, they will send the children for work. So that is known as child labor. And in India, 20% of all children aged between 15 to 17 years are involved in child labor. So next we will study about the problems of child labor. The first one is that children are not able to get proper education. So you know that at the age of when they are small itself, they are going for work. So what happens? They are not able to get proper education. So that is the first point. They are not able to get proper education. So you know that many children are forced to work instead of attending school. So they are forced to go to work instead of attending school. So that is the first point. Children are not able to get proper education. So children are not able to get proper education. So many children are forced to work instead of attending school. So they are forced to go to work instead of attending school. That is the first point. The second one is that they are not able to get proper food. So because they are going for work, they are not able to get proper food. So that is the second point, that they are not able to get the proper food. Then the third is that they are not able to get care from the parents, because at the age of small itself they are going for work. They are not able to get the care of the parents. So attention of the parents or care of the parents is not, they are not able to get. The children are not able to get the care and attention from the parents. So these are some of the problems of child labor. The first one is that they are not able to get proper education. The children are not able to get the proper education. They are forced to go for work instead of attending school. The next one is that they are not able to get proper food. So they are not able to get the proper food. Then they are not able to get care from their parents. So parents are not able to care their children because they are going for work. Parents are not able to take attention or care for their children. So these are some of the problems of child labor. So that's all for the lesson occupation, its importance. So before winding up, we will just go for a quick recap. So in this lesson, we have studied about occupation. What is an occupation? So what is an occupation? Yes, any work that help a person to earn a livelihood. Any work that help a person to earn a livelihood is called occupation. Occupation is also known as job. So you know that if you want money we have to do some work, isn't it? So if you want money with us, we need to go for work. And people follow different occupation according to their need, interest and ability. So according to their need, interest and ability, people choose different occupation. And I have told about different types of occupation. Then what are the different types of occupations? Yes, teacher, doctor, policeman, postman, cashier, mechanic, driver, dancer, shopkeeper, floor miller, mason, goldsmith, etc. are some of the occupations. Then we have studied about the importance of occupation. The first point is that occupation help us to maintain our living standard. Occupation help us to maintain our living standard. That is the first point. The second one is that it helps us to earn money and become self-dependent. So occupation help us to earn money and become self-dependent. Then third point is that it helps for personality development. So occupation helps for personality development. Then the fourth point is that people who are involved in occupation earn social respect. So people who are involved in occupation, they earn social respect. That is the fourth point. The fifth one is that it keeps one busy and disciplined. It keeps one disciplined and busy and disciplined. So if you are doing any work, you will be busy and we will be having a discipline in our life. So these are some of the importance of occupation. Then we have learned how the clothes are made. So what is the first one? First step, yes, people will collect the cotton from the plant. So people will collect cotton from the plant. That is the first step. Then this cotton is sorted. So sorted means what? Yes, dirt and dust is removed from this cotton. That is known as sorted. So second step is cotton is sorted. Then comes the third point. The cotton is turned into fiber. This cotton is turned into fiber. That is the third. The next is that the fiber will get colored. So this fiber is getting colored, or the process is called dyeing. Then the colored fibers are weaved into clothes. So these colored fibers are weaved into clothes, and this clothes is supplied into the shop. So this clothes are supplied to the shop, and these clothes are from the shop. This clothes go to the tailor. So from the shop it goes to the tailor. Tailor will stitch the clothes. So tailor will stitch the clothes, and our dress is ready. So the dress is ready. So this is how the clothes are made. Then we have studied about child labor. So other than elders, many children are engaged in many occupations. So children are driven into work for various reasons. So most often child labor occurs when family faces financial problems. So when family is facing financial problem, they will send their children for work. So that is the meaning of child labor. So in India, 20% of the children at the age 15 to 17 years are involved in child labor. Then we have learned about the problems faced by child labor. The first one is that the children are not able to get proper education. So children are not able to go to school, or children are not able to attend the school because they are going for work. Then the second point is that they are not able to get proper food. So children are not able to get proper food. Then they are not able to get care from their parents. So proper attention and care they are not able to get from the parents because they are going for work. So this is about the problem faced by the child labor. So that's all. See you next class. Thank you, children.